This ABC15 flash briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford.
Hey there, I'm Zach Crenshaw with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. Happening today, President Joe Biden touching down here in Arizona. The president heading to the Grand Canyon tomorrow, where he's going to designate an area around the national park as the nation's newest monument. This trip is all part of a 3-state tour. The president also talked about investments and climate change across the Southwest. The president also going to visit Utah and New Mexico this week. We'll have a crew up in the high country with the very latest tonight. And right now we are on Wildfire Watch. 2 scout camps have been placed on set orders as crews work to contain the Brady fire, which grew to over 300 acres just overnight. This is about 11 miles north of Payson. The 2 camps are Camp Geronimo for the Boy Scouts and the Shadow Rim Camp for Girl Scouts. Crews telling us the fire is burning in a very rugged and remote terrain, and those hot and dry conditions we've been telling you about, along with high winds, causing many containment issues. The Department of Public Health is investigating after a body was found on Arizona State Capitol property this morning. The victim was found in the west parking lot near 19th Avenue in Washington. The cause of that death still hasn't been released. Keep in mind, another body was found on Capitol property just 2 weeks ago. Officials haven't released information on either, like the victim's identity or the cause of death. In our Border Watch now, when Governor Hobbs announced in January she was disbanding the Border Strike Force and redirecting the funds to local communities, Republicans in the legislature called her decision, quote, unacceptable. 8 months later, border communities and some law enforcement are welcoming the governor's latest move, though. Today in Casa Grande, the governor met with police chiefs and county officials, getting briefed on how border-related crime is affecting their communities. Governor Hobbs came bearing gifts as well, $3.2 million for 6 Pinal County cities to combat the effects of border-related crime.
We want to make sure that we're using those resources effectively where they can be most helpful to our communities that are dealing with the brunt of the federal government's inaction on the border.
The money will be used to update technology and communication systems, as well as purchase SUVs to help track and chase those smugglers across the desert. In tonight's Impact Earth report, SRP customers can get 2 free trees to try and help shade your home better. Desert-adapted trees can lower cooling costs by up to 25% and improve air quality without using a lot of water. Now, to get these trees, you need to attend a free workshop on August 26th on how to select, plant, and then care for those trees. You can also get free mulch to help keep those trees alive. A new look now at the new Mattel Adventure Park being built in Glendale. The park's going to have themed attractions, including Barbie, Thomas and Friends, and a Hot Wheels coaster with the Hot Rods skull design. The 9-acre park is going in near State Farm Stadium and is set to open in 2024. There's a live construction camera if you want to watch the slow progress, or you can just wait for the time lapse. You can check it all out on abc15.com/things to do. Uplifting Arizona through an incredible effort to make sure kids from low-income families have all they need as they head back to school. Inside Arizona Helping Hands, volunteers like 18-year-old Leah Quillen give up her free time to stuff backpacks filled with pencils, notebooks, crayons, scissors, and much more. All of the essentials that a student needs to have a successful school year. The nonprofit tells ABC15 it has packed and donated more than 7,500 bags this year alone.
It's really important for kids to have the supplies that they need to thrive at school. It can be really disheartening when a child needs a certain school supply and they have to go back home the next day and they couldn't participate in an activity because they didn't have what they needed.
Leah calls the act of giving back one of the most rewarding things in her life. She hopes others find a way to make time to experience giving up some of themselves to help other kids.
Tracking your forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Amber Sellens. Our excessive heat warning ending as we head into tomorrow. Temperatures still looking pretty hot, though, and still at about 110 for Phoenix in the afternoon. The record, though, 116. We should stay well below that, and it is going to be a warm start with overnight temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s across most of the valley. Overnight is also when we could see a chance for some showers. In fact, Futurecast showing them right on our doorstep here as we head to about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll keep that chance going through 6 or 7. and then clear it out for the rest of the day. In the afternoon, all of the storms look to stay too far to the east to make it into the Phoenix area. But overnight again Wednesday, we could see a little bit more action come in. So we are still awaiting our first measurable rain at Phoenix Sky Harbor. It hasn't happened yet. This is now the second latest start to the monsoon in terms of measurable rainfall at Phoenix Sky Harbor. And we only have a few days with slight chances. Then we dry out this forecast for the rest of the week.